Hi guys, I'm really excited to share how I have my recipes and meal planning info organized. I did this about 2 months ago and I wanted to make sure it worked really well before I shared it with you, and I am just loving it. I did a video when I first started YouTube over a year ago on how I have my recipes organized. So it's the same basic system, I just made some improvements and I think this works so well. I have this huge binder. I got this one at Staples. They do have different sizes and different colors, and I really like this binder. These are great binders if you need something that you're going to use on a daily basis or very often. These are great because they protect it from ripping down the side or cracking. So they have this in here, and they aren't very expensive either. So this was really nice. They do have different sizes and different colors. I got the largest one, I think, and they had some really pretty bright colors, and I stood there trying to decide which color I wanted, and I went with basic black. I know it's a little boring, but the reason I did this is because I'm often using my pen, and sometimes I get ink in my binder because I'm writing things down and everything, and you know, I have it out sometimes when I'm cooking, and I just want to keep it nice and neat, and black hides a lot. So I picked black, and it's just a nice basic color. Now I use my label maker, and it has this spot here. So I just put the recipe label here. It does have a spot where you could put a cover. I haven't made one yet because I wasn't sure what I wanted to use yet. You could definitely leave it plain. It doesn't really matter. Mine goes into a cabinet, so all I really see is this anyway. Now what I love about this is the way I have it organized on the inside. I just wanted to show you quickly what I am talking about. I love that the dividers stick out. It is the one thing that I changed that has really helped me. I'm going to give you a closer look. I just want to explain how I did this first. Now, I had another huge binder, which I showed in my last video, and I had the dividers, but they didn't stick out enough because of this larger binder, and I use sheet protector. So the dividers were kind of hidden in there, and I looked around and I didn't really see any that I liked. They did have some on the Staples website, but they were numbered and you had to use like a table of contents, and I didn't really want to do that, and I also didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I'm going to kind of show you what I did in case you want to copy and make one for yourself. I am going to show more of the inside. I'm just going to grab my camera so that you can see everything really well. I just want to kind of explain exactly what I did to get it to look this way. So I had a bunch of these dividers already, and they were in great condition, but like I said, they didn't stick out. So I thought, what can I do to use these? And they have these little tabs here, and they actually have a little opening right here for you to put, you know, your label inside. So what I did is I went around the back and I cut it out, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I cut this out, and it still has the slot here, so it's open. And what I did was I put them on sheet protectors, just like this, using the opening, and as you put them in the binder, you can just put them down the edge. Now I just put a little piece of tape on the back to hold them, and like I said, I've been using these for a couple months and they did stay on. I use this binder pretty much every day to get recipes out of, and mine stayed on. So this is basically what it looks like, and you're just going to put those along the edge at varying places so that when you have it in your binder, it'll all line up, and I'll show you that in a second. But I just put a little piece of tape on the back of this, and it's been working really well. I used my label maker to label all of my dividers, but I needed something so that when I turned the page, it would turn really well and it wasn't just a flimsy piece of plastic. Again, I didn't want to spend a ton of money, so what I got was a packet of cardstock. This is used for scrapbooking, and it came with I can't even remember, like 100 sheets or something of white cardstock. You could get creative and use different colors and, you know, different prints or whatever if you wanted to. I just used white because I wanted it to be simple and clean. So I put one of those in each slot. And this works really well to be able to flip the pages. And again, I didn't have to spend a ton of money. So let me give you a closer look of how it all lines up inside of the binder. So I will list in the description box all of the names of the dividers that I have in case you want to kind of use it as a guide to make your own. Of course, you can use whatever you want, and I do have a lot of dividers because I have a lot of recipes, but this works really well. And even though I have a lot of recipes, I can find them very easily. So I just put one here at the top and then the next one, you know, so that I could still see it, and kind of did that down the edge of the sheet protectors. So each divider is taped onto a sheet protector, and then there's a white piece of cardstock inside, and it just makes it easy to flip through. And once I got to the bottom, I had to start back over at the top and go down the edge of the sheet protectors again, and just kind of make sure I lined those up so that I could see everything really well. And then each of my recipes goes into a sheet protector as well. This keeps everything nice and neat and clean because you can easily wipe something off if you spill it. It's not going to tear because it's protected. I just really like this. I did type all of my recipes out originally. When I first got married, you know, you have recipes that people wrote down for you, recipes friends give you, recipes you print off the internet, and while they were all in one spot, it wasn't very uniform, and I just wanted something nice and neat and clean. So I did type all of my recipes out. Now if I get a recipe from the internet, I'll just go ahead and print it. You can always copy and paste it onto a Word document and print it out that way. When I am creating recipes, I just write them down in a notebook. And once I have the recipe down, I go ahead and type it out and print it and add it to my recipe book in its own sheet protector. And that way everything looks nice and neat. It's all in one spot and it's very uniform. So this has been working really well for me. I have been using the same system for years now, probably over 10 years, but I've just, you know, made some changes that have really helped me. Okay, let's get into it. Let me show you how I have everything set up. So in the front, I have my meal plan for the month. I am going to share how I come up with this. I'll do a whole video on that. That's just too much to include in this video. So this goes right into a sheet protector, and this one is labeled weekly recipes, and right behind it I just have all of my recipes that I am going to use this week, and that way they are here and I don't need to search through them. So when I do my meal planning for the week, I pick out my meals off of my meal plan sheet for the month and put all the recipes that I'm going to use that week in here. And that, like I said, just prevents me from having to search through everything, and they're right here, and I can just put it on the refrigerator with a magnet while I'm cooking, and it just makes it nice and easy. My next section is dinner list, or my meals, all of the meals that I make. So I just have this again in sheet protectors, and this is a list of all of the dinners that I make, and I'm frequently adding to this. So I just have it divided by each protein or each meat. So under ground beef, I have all of the meals that I make with ground beef. Under beef, I have all of the meals that I make with beef. Chicken, I have a lot of meals with chicken, all of those. And then pork, I have all of those listed. And then these are bacon, sausage, and other. And then I have seafood and meatless. Now, this really helps when you are meal planning, especially if you are meal planning for a month, to have all of your dinners in one spot so you don't have to thumb through all of your recipes. And sometimes it feels like we've made something, you know, just last week, and you realize I couldn't have made all 30 of my recipes last week, and it just helps you to remember some meals that you might have not made in a while. So I love having this, and it has helped me so much. My next section is grocery store checklist. And behind here in sheet protectors, I have a list for each store. Now this is going to be different for everyone, and it might take you a little while to come up with this if you shop at multiple stores, but even if you don't, having a checklist for your groceries is so helpful. So I have mine divided by stores. So I have one for Meijer, one for Aldi, and one for Trader Joe's. Those are the 3 stores that I usually shop at. I do shop at Kroger, but usually I just get produce from there, so I don't really need a checklist. So on my checklist, I have everything that I get from each store. So I tend to get the same type of things at Meijer, the same type of things at Aldi, and the same type of things at Trader Joe's. I'll use Aldi for example because it's a little bit shorter. When I go to Aldi, I stock up once a month, and I just have a list of the things that I get from there. Now, I could just use this list every single time, but I don't always need all of these things. Like garbage bags, I usually get those like every 3 months, but it's on this list so that when I write my list for Aldi, I check over this and see if we need them. And it's just so nice to have a reminder of everything that I normally get from there. And then I have one for Trader Joe's as well. Now, like I said, everyone's list is going to be different. What you buy for your family is going to be different. What you like from different stores is going to be different. So you really need to have your own list, I think, instead of just a generic one. For my Trader Joe's list, I have it divided by non-perishables because that's what I put in my cart first, and then produce, dairy, meat, and frozen. This helps me so much when I go to write a grocery list for a whole month when I do my huge Trader Joe's hauls, just to have everything typed out so that I don't forget something because it isn't, right down the road for me. I also have Trader Joe's gluten-free ingredient list, and this is just a list of all of their products that do not contain gluten. You can probably find that on their website if you need to, or you can just ask when you go into the store. They're very helpful about that. So I have that there as a reminder. So these are the dividers that I have. This seems to be really helpful for me. Behind here I have all of my bread and roll recipes, and I have them in alphabetical order, which just makes it easier for me to find. Then I have sauces, dips, and dressings. So I have like salsa, hummus, any dips that I make, any salad dressings, they're all behind here, again in alphabetical order. I have my side dishes, salads, and soup recipes. And then I have a section for meatless recipes. So all of those are behind there in alphabetical order. I have beef, chicken, pork, bacon, and sausage. Of course, most of those are pork anyway, but sometimes I use turkey, bacon, or sausage, and it might not say that in the name of the recipe. So I just keep all of that together. I have pizza, seafood, and those are all of the dinner type of recipes. Continuing on down, I have breakfast. So I have like my granola recipe, pancake recipe, a breakfast casserole, and all of the breakfast type of things that I make in here, again in alphabetical order. I have sweetbreads, muffins, and scones behind this divider, appetizers here, and that was the end of the line of dividers here, so I had to start over. It doesn't quite line up like this, but again, it was just following the line along the dinner recipes. And then I have cookies, bars, brownies, and snacks. So I have all my cookie recipes, brownie recipes, granola bars, any kind of snack thing that I make is behind here, again in alphabetical order. And then I have desserts, so pies and cakes and anything like that would be behind there as well. And I am telling you, this helps me so much. I love this, and it didn't cost me a ton of money. It does take a little while to set up, but if you already have your recipes printed out off the internet, or if you're already using a binder system, this is just incredibly easy to use. It's very functional, and it stays nice and neat, and is a nice way to have everything when you do your meal planning. I hope you found this helpful and maybe it gave you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching.